Hello everybody, let's get started. Today's short video will be about another cool thing you can do with your Macintosh computer. I am in the situation where I need to visually analyze a lot of data. By visually I mean I want to see the cells green, red or whatever. I have lots of data. I have in this extract 1700 rows, but there's more data than just that. And as you can see here in the orange marked columns, we have some, let's call them thresholds. We have an RSI which goes from 58 to 70. We have an RSI backtest 3, 6 and 9, so 3 values. And we have a minutes backtest, 90 minutes, 120 minutes and 150 minutes. And basically what I would do if I did it manually is selecting the proper range. Here for 58, 3 and 90, as you can see. Copy the values, paste them here. Then I have a script which basically updates the tables, as you can see now. Now I would have to take a screenshot from that, from this, basically where we have the blue border, so to speak. Okay, now let's see how we can get that process a little bit more automated. The thing is, this 1700 rows will give me 63 images because we have 7 values in this column, 3 different values in this, and 3 different values in that. So how do we do all that? Basically, first we set up a filter table. So that's the filter table up here. Here I have set the values for RSI, threshold, backtest and minutes backtest. I have set up a stepper, 58 to 70 with a range of 2, so I can step through. Then in the next cell, the backtest, there I have 3 to 9 with an increment of 3. And in the minutes backtest, I have from 90 to 150 with an increment of 30. In the resulting table, I use conditional formatting. So I have, I think, 6 rules. Dark red is really poor. Then this is poor and kind of acceptable. Dark green is really good and light green is just around something like okay. Okay, so now let's see what we can do with that filter I have set up. Basically, I add 3 columns. Filter, RSI threshold, filter, RSI backtest, filter, minutes backtest. The formula is usually the value from the corresponding column minus the value in the filter. Okay? That gives us, when I go down to 58 here, that gives us a 0 in this column. If I go down in the RSI backtest to 3, that gives us a 0 here in exactly those, in that range I did copy before. And then we have a minute backtest from 90, so if we go down to 90, we also have 0 here. Okay? What I now can do, I can under organize implement the filter that those filter columns, the F columns, should equal to 0. If I enable that, you see, we just can see now those values as we have set up here, 58, 3 and 90, 58, 3 and 90. and that works for any value. I can go to 60, it switches to 6390. I can go to 62, it switches to 62,390. Because the value in the first column will always be 0, because it will be this value minus the value I have set in the filter. So that's actually already a pretty cool feature. And the other cool feature is the conditional markings I have showed. And okay, the filter I've shown. Then another cool thing I quickly want to reiterate, but I have shown it before already. Let's assume here down below I have minimum, maximum, average and median. So how do I do that fastest? I basically click the values I want to have the minimum, and then down here on the right hand side I have a list. You can not really good see it, but you can imagine what we have here. I've already selected average, maximum, minimum and the median down here. Minimum, maximum, average and the median. So basically I've selected these values here. I fetch the minimum. Sorry, it will so I fetch the minimum, drop it here, and then I just pull it across. Then I select the same values again. I pull the maximum into the maximum, drag it to the right. I select again, fetch the average, drop it here, drag it to the right. I select again the first values, select the median, copy it here, drag it to the right. So that's basically the cool features I have to show regarding conditional formatting, the filtering, and this kind of statistic formulas we can basically use. Okay, so now I will remove the blue border here because the image will be roughly there. Okay, now so basically in the manual way I would change one of these thresholds, 64 now. I then would copy those values here to that table here. As you can see, the last value is now identical. I run that script, it will update the tables, and then I would need to take that screenshot picture and save it under a name which I know that it was these values here. Now with AppleScript I basically could automate that. Let's quickly take a look at that. And in AppleScript basically the most important part is this whose. So I can set the filtered rows, the ones I still can see, to rows whose value of first cell is 0, value of second cell is 0 and value of third cell is 0. So that's the crucial thing number one. And the other thing is that I can run terminal command line command screen capture, and then I need to figure out with -R I can give it a rectangle, and I need to figure out where and how long that rectangle is, and then I give it a file, how do you call it, a file name, and that's basically it. And okay, now let's see that whole thing in action. So basically I run that script now. So let us take a look at the script in action. Zack. Really cool. As you can see up here, the script changes those values, which are then reflected by the filter here. So now 690, 690. The next one should be 620, 620. Then copies that range here to here, runs the script to update those color tables. Then it pauses a second, makes a screenshot, uses the next value. I basically have a really cool output, which is basically this. I can display as a grid. I have then view options where I can set the size to the biggest size of the file, and I can then really easy visually analyze the results. And the interesting thing here is that I could figure out that the minutes back test doesn't have an effect at all. So basically I can go and delete all the ones for 120 and 150 minutes, because it's the same as the 90 minutes, which basically means that next time I don't need to run an additional test. And those ones which are pretty red now, I could also delete, and I could really focus on those ones which I really like this is a good one. So to summarize again quickly, I have showed again how you can easily filter a huge table by setting up additional columns, and applying a formula you can easily filter so that you can just see a subset of your full table. Then I have quickly showed the conditional formatting and how you can drag and drop statistical values from the bottom border to your tables basically. And in AppleScript I have showed that you can kind of filter items in a list with the whose statement or clause, and that you can take a screen capture with a command line command in terminal. Thanks, happy coding, bye bye.